great catching up with D-Rod. Daniel Rodriguez is going to be back in action taking on Kelvin Gastelum. UFC Fight Night, June 22nd in the Middle East. D-Rod, how's it going, man?
It's going great, man. Glad to be back on here chatting it up with you.
Yeah, we got a lot to get into. First and foremost, I actually wanted to go back a little bit. So your last fight was against Ian Garry, and then I saw you helping him for his last fight. How did that all come together?
Yeah, the thing with Ian Garry, a lot of people were confused about that. Like, yo, what the hell is D-Rod doing in his corner? He actually hit me up, and it was like, I guess he's fighting Geoff Neal. He needed a southpaw. And originally, I went over there just for sparring. He offered me some money to spar. I mean, you know, I got left with that last fight with like a kind of bad taste in my mouth, and I just wanted to see, you know, what would have happened in the fight. So I wanted to get some sparring rounds in, you know. He beat me fair and square, you know, and I let that go, and going and sparring with him was part of like the letting go process for me with all that, you know, and the way everything's been turning out is kind of what I needed, you know. It was a great sparring match, and towards the end of it, he asked me if I would corner him. I mean, he offered me a little bit more money, but you know, I went for it, so why not?
Interesting. And I see you're also part of his management group now. Was that just because you and Ian kind of developed a friendship and kind of one thing led to another?
No, that's what originally kind of got it all set up. Is I chose to sign with Vayner Sports.
Yeah.
And yeah, my manager, Ian Garry happened to be under the same management. I didn't really know about that, but they kind of asked me to kind of help set that up, and you know, I just went for it. I was just being a company guy, you know.
Yeah, no, it's good. One of the best management companies in the world. That's pretty awesome. And that you're under that banner. And then just last thing I wanted to ask about, because again, I follow all your journeys on Instagram. How was Thailand? It looked like you had a great time. I know you wanted to get away, just kind of go back to your roots, all that stuff, and just focus primarily on fighting. Although I did see you had a good time as well. How was that whole trip? And how long were you there for?
Yeah, I was there for 2 months. And originally I had went out there to kind of ride out that suspension that they had hanging over my head.
That's right.
And, yeah, and in the process of actually on my way over there, you know, results came back from the supplements that I was taking as being tamed supplements. So they lifted my my suspension. So the whole time I was out there in Thailand, you know, I was excited to be, you know, about to make a comeback, you know, coming off a loss in the suspension. There was a lot going on at the time, and I really wanted to go to Thailand and just focus and get away from all the negativity and all the negative feedback that I was getting. And yeah, in the process, I got the call, you know, that I might be fighting pretty soon. And yeah, Thailand was cool. It was a dope cultural experience. I got a lot of good work out there. I got to witness a lot, and yeah, I had a lot of fun out there.
Good. Well, I'm glad you seem like all refreshed and ready to go for this fight. And you got a pretty big name here fighting Kelvin Gastelum. I was curious because I know you used to train in California. Had you guys ever trained before, or is this like something completely new for you?
No, we had never trained before. We had planned to. I actually know the guy. We've hung out a few times, partied. And yeah, I would, you know, he's the last person I ever expected to be fighting. But, you know, I never say no, you know, like we're not friends like that, you know, but we are acquaintances. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I've never trained with them at all. You know, we've had the opportunity, but, you know, things just didn't work out.
Did you message him after the fight took place, or are you guys not even that close where it's like you didn't even bother?
No, I haven't even bothered, you know. Yeah. You know, it's a fight at the end of the day. You know, I'm pretty sure, you know, there's no bad blood between me and him. It's kind of one of those things. It's just like two dogs. You know, the UFC did a great matchup, putting this fight together. You know, they know exactly what they're getting, putting both of us together. You know.
And how are you looking at this fight from a style perspective? Obviously, Gastleum very well rounded. You got some power as well. I think it's gonna be fight of the night.
Yeah, it definitely has potential. You know, I've been working with, you know, I'm working a lot with Chris Curtis and the guys over at Extreme Couture, and you know, he had a pretty close fight with Kelvin, and yeah, we got a pretty solid, good game plan going.
Who else are you getting to work with over there? I know if we listed all the training partners, we'd be here all day, but who are you mainly getting to work with ahead of this fight with Kelvin?
Getting a lot of work with, of course, Chris Curtis, what's his name? Sadi C.
Yeah, from PFL. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, the PFL guys, Sean Strickland, Sasha. Um, the Extreme Couture has a ton of guys. Oh yeah, I got some rounds in with Johnny Eblin.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because he cornered Strickland this past weekend. I saw that he was training with you
Yeah,
guys. Yeah.
yeah, Johnny was out there for a while, and Extreme Couture is the kind of place where it's guys coming in and out. It's never really consistent. There's like a ton of dudes in and out all the time, but for the most part, those are some of the guys that I've been getting consistent work with.
How cool is it seeing Sean Strickland get that win on the weekend? People maybe have not thought it was so super exciting, but I mean, it was a pretty technical fight against a really good opponent in Paulo Costa.
Yeah, that was a great fight. Sean did a great job. Little bit kind of awkward style.
Yeah.
A very awkward style, but that's just how Sean is. He's very hard to hit, and yeah, it's motivating because he's kind of taking on the role in the gym on the team as kind of the team leader. So it's got everybody all hyped up right now. I'm pretty sure everybody is going to show up Monday all hyped up, and it's going to be a great day.
Now, tell me a bit about your travel. Like, when are you heading down to Saudi Arabia, and who's going to be making the trip with you as well?
I got my corner, Sasha. Danny, he also cornered Sean this weekend, and my management. I wanted to bring a lot more of the team, but I just want to keep it like kind of tight knit, focus,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually gonna head out that Sunday. It's a 2-day travel, so we should get there by Tuesday or Monday night.
Okay, makes
And
sense.
yeah, we're gonna plan to go out there earlier to the time adjustment, but it seems like we'll be fighting around 1 or 2 a.m. out there, which is equivalent to 10, 11 out here, which is kind of the same time where we do our team practices and sparring and shit. So it's kind of we're just gonna stick to the schedule out here and just make the adjustments if possible.
How's this fight playing out? How do you see this one going down on June 22nd?
Man, I'll tell you what, man, it's been a long fight camp. I feel like I've been training since Thailand, and that was in December, January, and man, I've been getting some really great work. I made the switch from Syndicate MMA to Extreme, and it's a good group of guys. I'm actually the smallest, you know, one of the smallest dudes in the weight in our group, so I'm getting like a lot of hard work, and I definitely see myself winning this fight. Kelvin Gastelum's a really tough opponent. I don't see. I mean, I'm hoping for the finish, but I'm expecting a war. But I do see myself coming out on top. I've always seemed to be the person who rises to the occasion, and the bigger the name, the more I show out. Fight night. So I definitely see myself winning this fight.
Belal Muhammad is fighting Leon Edwards, who's winning the welterweight title in your division.
Oh man, I hope Leon takes it. Yeah, I hope Leon takes it. Looking at the first fight, Leon Edwards whooping his ass. And you hardly see Leon coming out that hard. I hope he comes out hard again this time. Of course, Belal's going to be looking for the takedowns and looking to grapple. I see he's been training over with Khabib and them guys.
Yep.
And yeah, everybody knows their game plan. So, it's on Belal's behalf. I'm expecting a boring fight. And hopefully Leon Edwards pulls it off.
Do you think he wins, though? Or do you think Belal has the edge there?
I'm gonna go with Leon Edwards just because the fact that he was able to take down with the fights with Kamaru Usman, and yeah, he looked great in those fights. Both those guys are not really consistent. I know Belal's been waiting for this opportunity, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Leon Edwards on that.
Where does a win put you? Because here's the thing. I know you mentioned your last fight, but that was short notice. And again, Calvin's got some name value behind him. You go out there and you finish him, or you get like a dominant win. That's got to propel you kind of back into where you were before. What do you think a win does for you here?
A win this time kind of, I would say possibility of putting me back in the rankings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just feel like, honestly, it's been so long and it's been such a long camp. I think a win would kind of just like, it'd be so satisfying and for my career, and I'm not gonna lie, fucking financially for my family. And you know, I spent I've been away a long time getting ready for this fight. You know, I'd be able to go back home and be comfortable. So that's really the most important to me, is just to win this fight and go back home and be with my family.
And you got a couple more fights in your contract, or what's the latest with that?
I got 2 more fights left on my contract, so it's this one and another one.
Okay.
You know, regardless of the outcome, I already got some good, you know, had some good conversation with you know, matchmakers and stuff like that, and they're most likely looking to re-sign me.
There you go. That's got to feel good. What did you think of Islam's win on the weekend over Dustin Poirier? That was a pretty good fight.
Yeah, of course. I'm a huge Dustin Poirier fan. You know, one of my favorite southpaw fighters ever. I did think he did a great job. It was a really close fight. You know, of course, I was rooting for Dustin, but towards the end, Islam pulled through and you know, got the finish. You know, I was a little bit disappointed, but you know, just because Poirier's had a great career. You know, he's had a great career, some great wins. Definitely a fan favorite. You know, good guy you know, outside the cage, and yeah, I think it was a great fight. You know, I'm excited to see what's the next matchup for Islam, actually, versus Arman, who has equally as good wrestling and, in my opinion, better striking. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that fight.
Are we gonna get our rematch in at Street Fighter? I'm gonna be going to 303 this month. You can bring Sasha along too if you want. I think I owe you one, right? We got to do that back again.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, I'll hit you up when I get to town. D-Rod, thanks so much for doing this. I'm glad to see you back. Anyone you want to thank? You got the podcast. You got so much going on right now. Let our audience know before we get out of here. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, man, I just want to give a shout out to Extreme Couture, my strength and conditioning coach, my teammates, Monster Energy, everyone back home, and of course the Culture Crooks podcast. And yeah, that's it, man.